So often people want to live in downtown Sarasota. They talk about wanting to be in a walkable area or neighborhood where they're close to shops and restaurants, boutiques, even businesses. So downtown Sarasota has Main Street, Palm Avenue. Those are very popular, and there's actually some other little cute pockets of areas where there's restaurants and different fun things. Sarasota also offers a weekly farmers market. There's regular art shows and different types of festivals in the area. It is so much fun. There's also theaters downtown. So there's a lot to offer people who want to be there and for it to be walkable or bikeable. Then also there's a Whole Foods, and then Ringling Bridge is right there, which will take you over to St. Armand Circle and Lido Key. And it's also a beautiful bridge just for walking or biking over. People love it. So today's video, I'm going to share with you some of these neighborhoods, condominiums, and single family homes, and some of the pros and cons of living there. Hi, I'm Jill Thomas, and each week I bring new videos and fresh content about living in Sarasota, moving to the Sunshine State here where it's so beautiful outside most of the year, and then of course all things real estate. So if making a move to Florida has been on your mind, this is the channel for you. Be sure to tap that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and keep on watching. And then don't forget, give me a call, shoot me a text, or email me. I'm happy to talk with you, answer all of your questions. And in the end, if Sarasota is not the dream area for you, that's okay. I can connect you with a fantastic agent in another city. Living in and near downtown Sarasota offers so much. And lately I've been getting a lot of people asking me about properties that are walkable. They want to be able to stroll, grab a cup of coffee, a light bite to eat, and maybe just walk around and see some beautiful areas and be in the middle of some activity. So if you've been thinking about the urban lifestyle, this is the perfect video for you. I'm going to share 5 neighborhoods that are in and near downtown Sarasota and some of the pros and cons. First, I'm going to start with single family homes. And the first neighborhood I'm going to cover is Laurel Park, Burns Court, Washington Park. There's a couple different names in this whole area. Now this area is right in downtown Sarasota. You do not have to cross any busy streets to go from these homes to get to Main Street, Palm Avenue, or any of these other fun areas, Pineapple. So it's super, super accessible. It's all west of 301 or Washington Boulevard, south of Fruitville Road, and then it's bordered by 41. 41 kind of turns, it's like Mound, and then it comes up past the marina. So it's all within those roads or within those parameters. Now the types of homes you're going to see are going to vary greatly. There are a lot of really cool older homes from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, but then they're also, again, building new. They'll take down some of these old homes that are just in poor, rough shape, and they're building modern homes. So you're going to see everything. You're going to see cute little bungalows, a lot of Spanish Mediterranean homes. I love those from the 20s. I think that they're really neat on the inside and out. There might be little Key West styles or craftsman style homes, and then of course we've got more modern homes as well. So you're going to see a little bit of everything right there in these areas. Now none of these homes are going to have a water view. In fact, I don't even think any of them are on a canal in these areas either, but the location cannot be beat. So the pro is, of course, location, location, location. But there are some cons to living in this area. Number one, some of the properties are going to be in a flood zone. So you have to be mindful of that. Not all of them, and then the newer homes probably not, because the way the developer, the builder puts in the home, it's going to be, the land's going to be elevated, the property's going to be elevated. But the older homes, it's maybe a 50-50 chance of whether or not it's in a flood zone. So you have to think about that. The second con is that some of these properties could be wood frame. So we've got these, little Florida critters down here called termites, so we have to watch out for those. Now, just because a house isn't wood frame and block home doesn't mean that you can't have termites. I was just at a house the other day, block home, clear evidence that there was termites because you can look for the frass. So you have to watch out for that too though. So there could be termites. And then number 3, the homes are not cheap at all in this area, as you can imagine. Even for a little tutu that needs some help, you're looking at spending still like $500,000, $500,000 for a home. So you definitely are going to pay a price to live in this area. Now let's talk a little bit more specifically about the prices in Laurel Park, Washington Park, Burns Court area, this whole vicinity right there. In the last year, the average sale price was $800,000. The homes can go as much as maybe around 1.5 million, and then they've been as low as like 317. But again, those little homes, those less expensive homes, are really a candidate for a tear down, or they're a super hot mess and they need a lot of work. So just keep that in mind. As I mentioned, even though I keep saying Laurel Park, Burns Court, Washington Park, there are names of some other subdivisions in there. There's like Cowles Court, but sometimes the way they ebb and flow from each other, when you're just driving through, you don't even realize that you're changing these subdivisions. They're all kind of gelled together. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for those specific neighborhoods. I'm just referring to the whole section right there that west of 301 and then south of Fruitville Road. Okay, the second single family home area I want to mention to you is called Gillespie Park. And there's also the Rosemary district right there. And again, there's a few other names of subdivisions in this area that sort of gel together, but we'll just call it Gillespie Park. And this area is north of Fruitville Road. So if you want to get to downtown Sarasota, you do have to cross Fruitville. Now, Fruitville can be pretty busy and congested, but people have to drive a little bit slower there. There are a ton of stoplights on Fruitville, so nobody's just cruising real fast down that street. And because of the stoplights, there's a lot of great places for people to cross the road to get to downtown. And then, of course, depending on how far north you are, Fruitville, you've got a longer walk or bike ride to get there. But it's not a terrible distance at all. Now, what's really nice about Gillespie Park is they do have a park. Now, actually, Laurel Park does have a park. I forgot to mention that, but it's just a little bit smaller. There's a nice playground there. That's about it. But Gillespie Park is a bigger park. There are tennis courts there, a big, beautiful playground. There's a dog park. There's a cute lake, benches, big open grassy areas. That's nice right there in the middle of this residential area. And the homes in this area are similar to the ones in Laurel Park in that you've got old, really cool homes from the 20s and 30s, then newer homes being built today because they tear down some of those old homes, and then everything in between. Mid-century, so if you like mid-century modern, you could find a house in this area that would suit you. They do have the Spanish Mediterranean, craftsman style, so they've got all of those different style of homes. And just like Laurel Park area, you have similar cons. You have to be mindful of flood zones. You have to think about termites and all that kind of good stuff as well. You're not going to escape that no matter what neighborhood you go to. Now, in terms of pricing, the pricing is a little bit better. In the last year, the average sale price for a single family home in the Gillespie Park area was $468,000. Some of the homes did sell in the 200s, but those homes were pretty much a hot mess. Really, again, candidate for a tear down or needing significant renovations. And then the most expensive home sold for $1.1 million. So as you can see, the price point is a little bit more palatable in this area. And the area is also going through some gentrification, and that's part of the reason why sometimes you see these older homes that are in need of a lot of work. So this neighborhood is definitely up and coming. So if that's what you're looking for, an up and coming area, Gillespie Park is the area for you. Okay, now let's switch our attention over to condos. So area number 3 I want to mention are the condos that are right there downtown. When you drive through Sarasota, you go down 41 or Tamiami Trail, you cannot help but notice these beautiful condos along the bayfront that look out to the marina. There's Marina Jack out there. And it's just beautiful, one building after another. They're set back a little bit. There's this wonderful green space, fantastic palm trees. It's picture perfect. So people think, oh, I want to live in one of those. I want to get something with a water view. So let's talk about those condos specifically right there first. Those are along Gulfstream Avenue, and some of those buildings along that way are going to have a Gulfstream address or a Palm Avenue address, which is a street directly on the other side. So it just depends on which side of the building the entrance to the building is at. Will determine the address. So you can have two buildings next to each other. One will be a Palm Avenue, one will be a Gulfstream. And then on the other side of Palm Avenue, there's some more buildings, and then sprinkled throughout downtown, there are other buildings. And again, there's a little bit of everything. Some of these buildings were built in the 60s and 70s. They're older, lower ceilings, things like that. And then there's some buildings that are still being built today. They'll take an old piece of commercial property and maybe like an old gas station that was down there, and then they'll just go straight up a tall, skinny building. So you'll see some of that. The Mark, they just finished a year or two back, and that's about a block off of Main Street, and that building is huge, and there's commercial property underneath, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of a neat building as well. So there's a little bit of everything there. Some properties will have water views and some don't. And believe it or not, some of those that are very expensive don't have any water views. It might be a nice view, but it's not like this dramatic, impactful water view as you might imagine. And then an upside to buying a condo versus a single family home, if it is your second home or a vacation place, is that it's just easier for some people to leave when they're gone for half of the year. You shut off the water, turn off the lights, bring in the furniture from off the balcony, and you let the association or the management company know that you're going to be gone for a while, and then you're good to go. So people have a bit of peace and comfort over knowing that there's kind of somebody there keeping an eye on their property. Okay, so now let's talk about the downside of living in these condos in downtown Sarasota. Number one are the condo dues. People get there's a lot of sticker shock when they see some of these prices. It's not unusual for monthly condo dues to be $600 or $700 a month. That is on the low end, and it's nothing at all for them to be over $1,000. It could be $1,200, $1,400 a month, easy. So keep that in mind. Even if you think the price of the condo is affordable, you have to factor in those monthly dues. The second thing to think about, especially with the older buildings, are the windows and doors, because a lot of times those are original, so they're not going to be up to code in terms of wind impact, you know, if you think about hurricanes. So it's nice if there are hurricane shutters on them. There may or may not be. And then a question to ask is, who's responsible for replacing those sliders and windows? Sometimes it's the association, and it's like all or nothing. They'll do them all at once, or they don't get changed out at all. Or sometimes it's the unit owner's responsibility if you want to change them out. So think about that as well with the older buildings, is what type of sliders and windows are in the property. And then the other third thing I want to mention specifically about this downtown area is there are a couple of buildings that are a lot more affordable, but you're going to pay another price for being in there. There's a couple buildings there that have a bit of a black eye, and I don't want to get into those right now in this video, but if you have genuine interest in downtown condos and you see some buildings that are very affordable and they have nice views, give me a call and I'll explain a couple of things to you. And maybe you're okay with some of the issues that the buildings have, but so far I haven't met anybody who has been able to look past these things. So let me know about that if you have interest. Now let's talk about prices. On average, the condos in downtown Sarasota run around $845,000. And on the low end, they're going to be in the 200s. But again, these are going to be maybe a one bedroom, no view. You're looking at a parking lot, a dumpster, something like that. So if you just want a quick little getaway place, a place to put your head at night, then this might be a good fit for you. And then of course, we're going to look at prices in excess of $3 million as well for being in downtown Sarasota. The fourth area I want to talk to you about is Golden Gate Point. Now, Golden Gate Point is that little area when you're driving, if you're going to head out to St. Armand's or Lido Key, right before you go over the Ringling Bridge, there is a light there. And to the left is a peninsula, and that's Golden Gate Point that sticks out. It's adjacent to the marina. Golden Gate Point is a beautiful area, and when you go on there, when you pull onto the peninsula, you can either go left or right, and it's just a big circle. And so it's all condominiums that are either that are on the outside of the circle looking out at the water, or there's some then on the inside of the circle that really don't have any views at all. Now, if you're on the outside of the circle, your views could be the Ringling Bridge, it could be the marina, or kind of a combination of the two, depending on the layout of your unit and how it's positioned with everything. And I think this area is kind of fun in terms of views because it's active. It's just not looking at water, just plain water. You've got the lights of the bridge, the activity from that. You have so many boats to look at and watch. So I think that that's kind of fun to observe. Now, in terms of its relation to downtown and getting to downtown Sarasota, at a minimum, you're gonna have to cross 41 to get there. So that's a little bit of a busier road, or depending again where you want to get to downtown, you might be crossing 41 and Fruitville Road. So the walk isn't as easy peasy as when you're in the heart of downtown Sarasota. The prices on Golden Gate Point certainly go from one extreme to the other. On the low end, you can get something in the low twos, close to 300, but this would be like an interior unit, really small, needing work, no view, nothing, no bells and whistles. You're just in a beautiful area. At the high end, though, you're looking at paying closer to $5 million, and the average sale price is $1.8 million. Now, one thing I've noticed with a lot of condos there on Golden Gate Point, not all of them, especially the really, really old buildings, but the newer buildings, the condos live more like a home. They're larger, they're more spacious. You can get some 3-bedroom. They're just nice wide views. So you're definitely getting more for your money as well in terms of the square footage, the price per square foot. But yeah, they don't come cheap at all. And again, watch those condo dues. There are a few buildings where the monthly dues are under $1,000 a month. But most of them are over $1,000, and there's even some buildings where the price tag is over $4,000 a month. So keep that in mind also. As you can imagine, I'm sure the $4,000 a month buildings, they take very good care of you and care of your property, but you're paying for it. So higher dues, but a lovely location, gorgeous, gorgeous views from these buildings. Number 5, the final area. Honestly, I'm not really sure how to define it, so I'm just gonna say it's west of downtown. So if you go, like I mentioned before, if you are heading out to Lido Key or St. Armands and there's that little light right before the bridge, to the left is Golden Gate Point. Well, if you turn to the right, there are some condominiums right there. There's older ones and newer ones. The Ritz-Carlton is right there. The View, VUE, is a newer building. Then they've got some other older buildings mixed in as well. And then if you go north on 41, there's another light called Boulevard of the Arts. You take a left there, and there's some other buildings back in there as well. There's newer like Beau Ciel. There's Condo on the Bay. Those are 2 buildings that look similar, that look right out to the bridge and to the water. So we've got a little bit of everything mixed in. So to get from those areas to downtown, you have to cross 41, which again, you have to be careful, but they do have a nice crosswalk right there for people, I think because of people staying at the Ritz. Maybe they were involved with getting this installed just so people could safely cross 41 and get over there to downtown, get to Main Street and Palm Avenue. And some of these views are pretty fantastic from any of these buildings. You might be looking at the marina, you could be looking at Ringling Bridge, just looking out to the bay. And what's kind of fun too, I didn't even mention from Golden Gate Point, is not only do you have the water and everything there, but you're looking across on the other side from that intercoastal. So you're looking at Lido Key, you might be looking at Longboat Key. And so that's kind of fun too at night to see those lights from the other keys on the other side of the water. And just like with all these other buildings, you have to watch out for those condo fees, the carrying costs. There are some buildings in this area where the dues are $600, $700, $800 a month. And then again, they quickly jump up over $1,000 a month. And that's often for the newer buildings, but I think Condo on the Bay, those numbers are pretty steep in there as well, even though those buildings are older because of the services that they offer for the residents. And there's a guard at the front of that community also. Now, in terms of prices, the average sale price is $1.6 million. You can get something in the 400s in some of these buildings, and then they go as high as $4 or $5 million for a condo. Now, when you hear those numbers, like, okay, the average sale price, I think I said was $1.6 million, don't think that you can't get something nice or something with a view that's under $1 million. It's certainly doable. If anything, I would just say watch those carrying costs with the condo fees to see where how all that lines up with your budget. So many people still do want that urban lifestyle. They want a nice view, something to walk to, an area with a really cool, fun vibe. So if this is what you're looking for, give me a call. I would be happy to answer any of your questions and see if we can find an area that's a good fit for you. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you watching all of my videos. Again, don't forget to tap that subscribe button and have a happy, happy day.